Okay, so I had a subscriber in my last video comment that he wanted to know about the engine build. Well, like I told him, I don't really do how-to videos. There's plenty of more knowledgeable and experienced people out on YouTube to show you how to do things properly. I don't always do things properly. I like to get things working. There's another YouTuber that I watch, and he likes to say that there's never enough money to do things right, but there's always enough money to do things over. And I really like that, and that's kind of how I operate. So this motor came out of, I think it was a 74. It came out of the 74 Olds 98 that I got when I got the 81 Cutlass and the two other big blocks. So I paid $1,100 total for the 81 Cutlass, the 74 Olds 98, and two big blocks. I've since sold the two 455s and that Olds 98. I only kept the motor and the transmission. This is it over here. This is a Turbo 400 that came out of the Olds 98. And this is the motor, obviously. So I only kept the motor and trans and the 81 Cutlass. So I'm reusing the lifters out of this guy. I didn't bother keeping them like where they go, like you're supposed to, because I'm using a different cam, so it's just different. They look to be in really good shape. Sorry, I'm messing up here. There was only one that had some slight, like a little bit of chipping on one end, but it looked still good to me. So I'm just going to reuse those guys. They looked fine. I know I'm throwing all kinds of money at this, but you can get extra expensive real quick if you're not careful. So I'm still trying to keep it budget. Like I got this cam, the one that's in here now was the 305H. It's a new video, so I'll re-show this. I got this one. I think I paid $55 for it. It was new. It was $55 on Amazon for whatever reason. Just happened to be a screaming good deal. And because I got that, I had to get better springs. Here's the part number for those who care. These are what they look like. They're double springs and beehived. This cam is a 305H. It's called the Pro Street cam. It's described to have a radical idle, and I'm also going to need, they recommend a 3500 stall converter. I don't want to go that high, so I'm going to get a 3000 stall converter to put in. This cam that's in here actually is the other cam that I had bought off Amazon also. It's also a comp cam, but it has like a 474 lift, something like that. I have the specs somewhere. This one's going to go in the motor that's coming out of the turd. So this is an FA block. It is the original motor out of that 74. It was in really good shape. There's not really a whole lot of wear on it, on the cylinders. I just got, it's not a dingle ball honer, but it's something similar. And there's not a whole lot of ridge. I'm not going to touch it. There's not very much ridge at all. If you can see it kind of like cleaned up right there, and just a little bit of ridge. And they're all about the same. There was only, let's see if you can see it. I'm not going to touch it, but I'm going to try to point to it. You see how there's like a little guy there? That was a little bit of rust buildup. And it came right off. The metal's just stained. It's just as smooth as the rest of the bore. These pistons are the stock pistons. I didn't want to take the bottom end out, because if I did that, and I was going to get new pistons, I was going to machine it for a manual crank, because most of these Oldsmobiles, including this one, do not have the necessary machining done to it to accept the manual transmission. So I would have done that. I'm still trying to keep it budget. All of the cylinders look really good. This engine had never been opened up. I could tell all the gasket surfaces were just really hard to clean up. I did my best to clean up this head, this I guess they would call it a deck surface. I tried my best to really degrease and clean up the whole block, paint it. Let's see, I'm gonna set this down for a second. Hold on, guys. I'm going to try to edit that out, but if not, well, sorry. So there's just a little bit of overspray. I did put the original oil pan on there to paint it, but I did get a little bit of paint on. I can't even see it right now. But I need to clean up the paint a little bit. There's a little bit of paint that got on some of these guys somewhere. I have my new oil pump I need to put on. The original one, oh, here it is over here. As you can see, it is like pressed in, and my extended pickup tube that's here bolts on. So I had to get a new oil pump that would accept that. Because I'm going to be revving this motor to about 6,000 RPM, I really don't want to go above that because of the stock pistons. I had to get an 8-quart oil pan. It has a baffle here so that it wouldn't have, hopefully, the oiling issues that these Oldsmobiles sometimes have. Sorry, I just saw a little bit of oil dripping out, so I'm going to try to clean it up as it happens. Obviously, I still need to like clean this part up. That's where the oil filter mount goes. Let's see, what else? So I got the cam in, the 305 H10 cam. It's a comp cam, double roller, chain and sprocket set. I've been trying to clean up the bolts. Like this is the what do they call it, like the damper bolt, just because, I don't know, why not. I even took the grinder to this just to kind of smooth it up. Nobody will ever see it, but I don't know, I thought it looked nice, it looked better. Let's see, what else can I tell you guys about this? So these are the heads I'm going to be using on it. These are E-heads out of a 1970 442. You can see they have beehive springs already, as opposed to, these are the J heads that came off of it. They do not have beehive springs. Oh, maybe they do. I can't really no, I don't think they do. No, they don't. So those springs probably would have been okay. Although these are the springs that comp recommends using, so that's what I used. I had to get a valve spring compressor tool also because I did not have one. I like to buy tools as I need things because it makes the job easier, and it's considerably cheaper than if you took it to a mechanic anyway. This is a GBody bell housing on a Muncie M21 4-speed that came out of a 68 GTO. I don't know if I'll ever put this in there. Probably, if I ever have to take a crank out and machine it, I'm going to get it machined for manual, and that's when this will go in there. But I've had that since I was 14. I got it for my first car, which was a 68 Nova. And I just never used it. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this? Like I said, I'm gonna have in the last video, I'm gonna have a dual quad polished aluminum intake manifold on this. My dog's inside being crazy, my girlfriend's yelling at her. It's gonna have 2 Hollies on it. and 2 K&N stacks. I also got a 2-piece front timing cover that's going to go on here. And I got some Mondello aluminum pulleys that are going on here. The crank one is a 20% underdrive. Let's see, what else can I tell you? I'm going to be using the billet HEI that you saw in a previous video on here with 10mm spark plug wires, rather. Sorry about that. I think that's really all there is to tell on it. I will be using a high volume oil pump with a regulator. Not oil pump, fuel pump with a regulator. And I should be getting my intake set up in that oil, man, I keep saying oil, fuel pump in about 5 to 7 business days. The guy I bought it from just now shipped it out today. I'm hoping to have this long block completed by the weekend. And that's really about it. I'm going to go ahead and post this video up for the guy that was asking about the build. Hopefully this answers any questions and is satisfactory to you, good sir. And that's it. There's really not a whole lot to tell about it. It should be a pretty healthy motor. I'm going to be in the RPM range of 3,000 to 6,500 is what the cam's rated for, but I'm probably going to keep it to about 6 to try and make it last a little longer. The motor, that is. As you guys may know, if you watch my previous videos, I have a Turbo 400 in the car. And this rear end right here is a Ford Explorer 31 spline 373 limited slip differential that I will be putting in the car. The rims that I have on it are dual bolt patterns, so I won't have to change rims out. I am going to have to basically grind off all the brackets. This is essentially going to be just a smooth axle tube. And then I will weld on, this is part of it, all of these brackets in here are part of it. It's a, I guess you can call it an install kit, but it's really more like just a template. I have to do a lot of the work myself for a Ford Explorer going into a GBody. Part of the kit, $400. It's a $600 kit, and one of the only things I paid full price for on this thing. $400 of the kit are adjustable control arms. Those are the lower ones. Let's see if I can find an upper one for you real quick. Yep, there they are. It's the upper. Polyurethane bushings, of course. These are actually lowering springs that I bought. And I have a 67 Cutlass as well, so I kind of fat finger it sometimes when I'm ordering. And these are actually for, meant for the 67, but I ordered them for the GBody. I'm going to put them on anyway. They're lowering springs. They should work fine. And that's about it. Okay, so until next time, guys. It was just a little video about what motor is going into the old turd. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.